We are live. Welcome to. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Burning Subjects, which is this weekend is a very unusual episode because, well, it's Halloween. This is the Halloween special, and you can probably see I'm in costume right now, except for my helmet.
I can't see. Yes. You just need a hard hat.
Yep, I just need. The thing is.
Oh, Michael! I'm surprised you actually came over here. I thought you were, still at the Wilmington and Western.
Michael is here.
I am at the Wilmington and Western. I just thought I'd drop in for a little while so I can join the Burning Subject.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
But Nick,
I need to put on the suit.
Not to be rude, but maybe you're done wise. Why don't you just enjoy your day at the Wilmington and Western? I am, but I'm waiting at the train depart, so that's why I'm joining here for a while until its next departure.
Well.
So where are we at so far to Gettysburg?
Well, we actually just started.
And Andrew, you actually look fucking amazing.
I just need my helmet, which I was gonna use my helmet.
Hard hat and maybe one glove. Wait, we're not live yet? We are.
We are live.
Oh, okay.
But
sorry.
I needed to get my hard hat, which is the hard hat that I actually used while volunteering at the 2926, and I still use it on the 769. But for some reason, it's not around the house. I think I left it either at the 769.
Well, that kind of sucks. But needless to say, as we already kind of said it, today's episode is all about the chaotic evil of railroad of American tourist railroads and steam locomotive preservation societies.
The Gettysburg Railroad, yeah.
Or the Gettysburg Railroad, as I always like to call it.
Okay, but actually, let's see who's at the stream. The Unknown Sinner. Okay.
By the way, you are making sure that this video is not made for kids, right?
Yes, I made sure a fact that this isn't made for kids.
In that case, ship this fuck on cocksucker motherfucker tits fart turd and twat.
Okay, wow. Liar.
The 10 magic words from George Carlin.
Liar, you said Nazi train.
What?
Yeah, the original plan, if you guys, we were originally actually going to do some stories about trains that went missing, like the Nazi gold train. Like that. But, well, in this episode, we're going to be talking about, as Jim stated already, the evil, and probably my least favorite scenic road in the world, and thank God it's not around today, the Gettysburg Railroad.
The company doesn't exist anymore, but yes, the Gettysburg.
Yeah. The Gettysburg Railroad, we're going to be talking about it specifically because of the evil that they have done. Because thanks to them, we have to do a 1,472-day inspections on these locomotives now. Because one of their engines went Allahu Akbar.
You may, trademark to AJ on that one. You're not a proper cylinder cock yet, Andrew.
Yeah.
But basically, the Canadian Pacific 1278 suffered an internal boiler explosion,
which
resulted in the 1472-day inspections, which are now mandatory. Like what? Once every 15 years or so.
Every 15 or so years. But before we actually begin talking,
which I believe partially was caused by a certain Mikado, I should say.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. But one last thing before we actually talk about the Gettysburg Railroad. Can we just take a moment to realize that me without my helmet, dressed as engineer, I look like Dr. Eggman?
Yes. You went for the engineer and you ended up looking like Dr. Ivo Robotnik. Nickname Dr. Eggman.
I'm going to make an announcement. Shadow's a bitch-ass motherfucker. He pissed on my wife. That's right. Pissed on my wife?
So why don't I just treat you to a picture of a bat in your private messages? To further fuel the Halloween spirit. Just give me a moment.
Took his hedgehog fucking quill a dick out and he pissed on my fucking wife.
Oh, but I don't really do hedgehogs. I prefer bats in this case.
No. What the actual? What? Surprised I can move my eyebrows while holding these things. I mean, look at my nose compared to this. I can smell you from here.
Oh fuck! I think people may be able to see the reflection in the in your goggles.
Ooh, look at that. Anyway, let's get into the actual. So the Gettysburg Railroad is a was a scenic railroad that actually I don't know much about the Gettys Railroad considering the fact that I fucking hate it. So can someone by chance start it off, please?
Let me actually check this shit. Look, Gettysburg Railroad, Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia.
Cock and ball torture.
Gettysburg Railroad, 1976 through 1996. Well, it's a pretty short Wikipedia page. Huh. But it was a short line railroad that operated in the state of Pennsylvania for 2 decades, from 1976 to 1996. They had a line that was 23.4 miles long, and it ran from the town of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, or rather the borough of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, to Mount Holly Springs. So, yeah. I guess that boroughs are like small towns or something. It's the first time that I hear this. It's the very first time that I am hearing this word. Anyway, the railroad shipped freight for local companies and interchanged with transportation in Gettysburg and Conrail at Carlisle Junction in Mount Holly Springs, and most notably for us, or bigger relation to us as steam enthusiasts, it also operated as a tourist railroad under a subsidiary, Gettysburg Passenger Service. Now, the railroad itself apparently was built in the late 19th century, and it opened in 1891 as the Gettysburg and Harrisburg Railway, and the line was later leased to the Reading Railroad and operated as the Gettysburg branch. Following the Reading's bankruptcy in 1971, it sold portions of its asset to a newly formed railroad called Conrail in 1976. However, the Gettysburg branch was not included in the transfer, and thus it was acquired by the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, which sold the line to a new company, the Blairsville and Indiana Railroad, in 1976. And the latter company subsequently changed its name to the Gettysburg Railroad, which is how we know it today. By 1995, they had 2 steam engines in use. Number 76, which I actually don't know what that is. Let's see.
It's a 280. It's I think it was Frisco or something like that.
Kind of looks Canadian National.
Oh, actually, 76 is from the Mississippian Railway.
Oh, yeah, by the way.
Yeah, the Mississippian.
For those at the stream, if you're wondering why Mike's mic quality is so bad, it's because he's actually he's going to see a real steam locomotive today.
He's at the frickin' Wilmington and Western Railroad.
Visiting what we like to call the Veterans Locomotive, number 58. Not JNL 58.
But some 060 switcher, I don't know what railroad it operated.
Yeah.
But
anyway, back to
say, yeah, they had the Mississippian number 76, and then of course the former Steamtown star, the favorite locomotive of Steamtown founder F. Nelson Blount, Canadian Pacific number 1278. Furthermore, they also had 2 diesel locomotives, number 39 and 70. I don't care what classes they are, don't tell us. And between January and June of 1995, all 4 were inspected by the Federal Railroad Administration and need to be in good enough working order to remain in service. Yeah, heavy quotes. So, that was a. Think of that statement as like a ticking time bomb. The Gettysburg Railroad was sold to the Delaware Valley Railroad Company, a subsidiary of Rail America, in 1996, and they created a new operating company, the Gettysburg Railway. But yeah, of course, we all know the Gettysburg today for, a little incident that happened on June 16th of 1995. The previously mentioned internal boiler explosion on number 1278. Because the water level dropped below the ground sheet, which is the top of the inner firebox, and it allowed it to cave in. And from what I've heard, scalding hot steam spewed out of the firebox doors, filling in the entire cab. And the crew was hurt. They got second or third degree burn. So yeah,
It was second and third degree burns.
yeah. Thankfully, no passengers were injured.
Thankfully, anyway.
The train was delayed by 45 minutes until a diesel locomotive could be connected to complete the train's trip. And the National Transportation Safety Board, well, in turn, they concluded that the explosion occurred because the crew had allowed the water level in the boiler to drop too low, which, like I said, caused the boiler's ground sheet to fail. And then they also determined that very poor maintenance on the locomotive, as well as inadequate training, were two contributing factors to the accident. The accident furthermore kept them from running excursion trips for approximately 1 week before they were resumed using Engine 76 with diesel assistance. And that's more or less the end of the Gettysburg Railroad Wikipedia page.
Well,
I know it's not great, but it's better than nothing at this point.
Well, to say the least, the reason that we are talking about the Gettysburg is two reasons. One, they're the evil. And two, the 1278 is a haunting memory now. It's not a literal ghost train, but a locomotive that quite literally haunts us every day when we think about these explosions happening in the 21st century. It's terrifying.
Yeah. Basically, long story short, it shouldn't even have gone to the friggin' Gettysburg. Let's be completely honest there.
Yes, exactly. And the only reason it went to the Gettysburg is
because they traded the locomotive for a even more crappy locomotive, which we talked about in the last episode. 3254, or as I like to call it, the the monstrous Mikado.
Not only that, but it didn't even, when it did get restored to operation in 1982, there was no fanfare for its return to service or anything like that,
Look, the fact that, to be honest, it's only now that I realize that you guys know Penzi Productions, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, now that I realize, that he put it on the list so high, I feel like, feel like a better locomotive could have gone there,
Yeah, and I feel the same way. The fact that I put 3254 on, number 12 on my list.
To be honest,
I didn't even talk about 3254 yet.
And honest,
at least in one of my own videos.
Good. To be honest, I feel like 3254 can be forgotten. Yes, it had its chance, but it blew it. It's over. It's over.
Yeah, because basically, the only real way you're going to get this locomotive, the only real way you can really give the 3254 a chance to properly shine is to do some seriously expensive and very extensive refurbishing work. When it comes to the frames, let's face it, they're shot. The frame of the locomotive is shot because it got bent in that accident. So you'll be looking at two painfully expensive options, which are also very tricky. One, maybe disassemble the locomotive completely and then find a way to straighten out the frame that it already has. Or two, scrap the existing frame and build a brand new one, which in turn will also, and that option, that may be even more expensive. And I guess that will also, cause some people to complain about. I mean, they will most likely bitch and moan because they don't accept that it's still the 3254. Because some people say that the identity of a steam engine lies within its frame. If it's swapped, it's technically a different machine.
What? I think that the soul of a locomotive is in its boiler. That's where I think it is. It's where the power is. It's the life.
Yeah, but it did happen quite frequently that locomotives swapped boilers. I mean, I'm talking from a standpoint in Germany, in the United Kingdom, where boiler swaps were very frequent. I mean, look at the 210 decapods of the Baureihe 50. I mean, nowadays they're the differences are pretty damn vast. Actually, hold on. I gotta look this up here. I know the picture that I saw on Facebook. Let me look for it real quick. I'll be able to find it in just a couple of minutes. Let's see. Oh, there it is. I already found it. I'm gonna check this into European German locomotives in your server. Here you have two decapods. Both of them are from the Baureihe 50. You'd be forgiven for thinking that they were different machines because, the boilers look different. One of them also has a different cab because, that's because as time went on, the construction of those locomotives became more and more simplified until eventually, the proper Kriegslocks of the Class 52 were introduced. But you get the point. Interchangeability was massive.
Yeah, but to be honest, this stream specifically was short and sweet because the real thing that this stream actually is going for is that I'm going to allow my viewers to play Among Us with me.
Well, again, I don't have Among Us.
Well, if you want to, you can just get it on your phone. It's free.
It's true.
Hold on, let me turn on my camera just for you guys, so you guys can see what I'm dressed up as.
Who you're dressed up as?
I see. You're in the friggin' 5-time suit.
Yes.
Wait, you're in a literal...
From SpongeBob. Allow me to actually make a quick swap from the computer to the mobile telephone as well. I'll be there in a couple seconds. One moment, and I'm going to leave. The phone speakers and
So wait, that's it?
look at my pretty pathetic Halloween costume.
Well, what? Your pathetic Halloween costume. I can't see the camera, no!
It's literally just a friggin' jack-o'-lantern helmet or mask.
Oh. That's it? Okay. And yet, why am I the only one who goes out on Halloween nowadays? I'm 16 and I'm still doing this crap.
So yeah, that's basically it. I got nothing else. So I guess that's basically it for burning subjects of this episode.
Yeah.
That's it. Right?
Well, us actually talking about the locomotive and stuff. But for the next 30 minutes, we're going to stream. We're going to all basically play Among Us together. Because it's Halloween. This is my gift to you.
But how are you going to stream it on YouTube?
Trick or treat.
And they can't really see what we're doing. But, okay.
I just wait and just slip on shoes.
But
Andrew. That was basically it for the locomotive portion of this episode of Burning Subjects.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, do you mind if I drop out then?
If you want to, you can.
So I can continue a bit of work on my Halloween video.
Yes. If you check later on today,
Don't spoil anything, Michael. Don't spoil anything. I won't.
I'm not gonna.
That was the shortest episode of Burning Subjects I've ever been through.
No, yeah,
Okay.
this is the shortest video, but then again, it's because it wasn't a very famous. The only thing we know about there is a log bar. That's the only thing we know about the Gettysburg, really, because it was shit. But either way, if you would like to play Among Us, I have sent the code in the live stream chat if you would like to join. Remember, this is
just a little bit of work on the video, so I'll be doing that.
Okay then. Well, see you guys on Gmod maybe later. All right, now we just sit and wait. So. Gonna wait 5 minutes for someone to join, but if no one joins, then we're gonna cut it out. Well, I guess since no one appears to be joining, then I guess have a happy Halloween and stay home. This year is not a good idea to actually go out for Halloween, for trick-or-treating. So stay home and, maybe just do what I did. Live stream, play with some people, and, I don't know, watch some scary movies.